Hey, what's up, everyone? My name is Lionel, and I'm your host for LT Productions. You are watching I Watch You Watch. We are covering Sistas. This is Season 8, Episode 22. And this is the season finale. I appreciate everyone for coming to this channel. Please like and also share this video. You can subscribe to my channel if you are new and leave your comments below. Let's get into this episode. Okay. I will say, I enjoyed this episode. It's I think a payoff from what we have been dealing with for the whole season. What I felt like this season was a way to rest a lot of the characters and give a main storyline plot that didn't involve too much of the main characters, so that possibly there's a new story coming up for the other characters. Because for a while, for season after season, the character's been doing basically the same thing. And that's just my thoughts. I know y'all ready for Karen to have these babies, which is cool. A lot of y'all don't like the new writers, but I think that they are starting to progress these characters. And with Karen, they gave her a baby bump. What? Hasn't Karen been pregnant since season 3? And now, finally, what, in season 7? We finally see a baby bump? I mean, I think that was progress that they did do. And they tried to rework some of the things that worked for its time, but how do we get out of this hole that we're in? How long can Karen stay bitter? I mean, she's pregnant. Then she finds out she's pregnant with twins. Then she finds out who the baby daddy and daddies are to the twins. She was having financial problems. It's like, how is she gonna have twins? Zach all of a sudden became broke. We got Aaron, and he's got some money, but what about her? How does she actually stand up in this whole situation? I loved the introduction of Miss Marie. I didn't know what it was going to be about, but how she was able to come into the season and infiltrating a lot of storylines and moving them along. I think that she's been a brilliant tool, and allowing now Karen's business to grow even after having that fire. Also, I think that there's been some growth between Zach, Fatima, and Karen, and somewhat with Aaron. That's probably going to take a little bit more work, because men, when they get into their egos, you know how that goes. So Karen and Fatima, they're trying to do the right thing. They have babies on the way, and I know a lot of people want Karen to suffer after everything she put Zach and Fatima through. I get it, but why? It's time to grow up. And do you want all this negativity out with these children that are coming? Maybe if Fatima wasn't pregnant, it might have been another situation. But it's like, these folks are moving on. Zach and Fatima are engaged. They're having a baby. She got to have this baby here. You know, I think it's time to grow up. Anyway, so let's get on to this episode. Calvin speaks with Sabrina. She gives her heart out in regards to everything that's been going on with her. Calvin gives her sound advice about choosing herself in this whole situation. And I cannot agree more than what he has already said, because it's like, I don't understand how this relationship between her and Rich could work out in the way that it did. So choose yourself. Rich, he comes in the door and he sees her with Calvin, and all of a sudden he's got these questions. I've never seen a guy so caught up in insecurities. Not saying that some other things haven't happened that, okay, well, Sabrina, no. But this is the Calvin. So Calvin leaves. Him and Sabrina have a talk. She talks about when she went on her trip with DeMonte, that he's, they got close. And then he asked, did they have sex? And she's like, no, nothing like that. But basically, she just thinks that they need to break up or see other people. That's basically what she said. Rich didn't like that, but Rich, you still want to be with her, even though now she gonna have a child with this other dude? It's just not going to work out. You took too long to decide that you wanted her as a person. And then in the 11th hour, you wanted to be her person and have a child with her. Okay? But things didn't work out that way as far as with sickle cell. And her whole point is that she wants to have children, not now. And she wanted to save her eggs. Your sperm may be good. Just not medically, they're not going to permit it to happen. But whatever. So Rich goes off and huff and puffs yet again. Of course he does. Robin. He saves Jordan. Jordan is out of jail. Honestly, I thought Jordan was going to off himself, but he didn't. And I'm kind of glad, because it would have been another season of what Andy has done to other people, and it's just like, no. No. It's just crazy. So he's free, and Robin and Penelope tries to kiss him, thinking that he wanted something with her, and Robin said no. And then she said, oh, it's because you're still stuck up on Andy. And then, of course, silence was everything, and basically, yeah. But she says that she hopes that he is not hurt by her like she's already done with my brother. And I think she said Gary too, but whatever. So she understands, and they depart. Andy's at the office talking with Fatima, and she's debating on if she's going to meet Robin at the airport. So she ends up deciding, hey, I'm gonna do it. Fatima, gives her encouragement as to doing it. She was kind of feeling hesitant because of their past and all that and everything that they've been through. And Fatima was like, well, look, I am married or engaged to Zachary Taylor. What do you think is supposed to happen? Of course. Look, we've been through a lot, and we've made it out on top. So give it a chance. Andy's going to do that. She leaves the office, and that good old famous office deck or car deck, something is going to happen. So she gets into her car, and then boom. Somebody is behind her in the seat, and I guess like chloroforms her. And they leave her phone on the parking deck, which was kind of dumb. Just laying there on the floor. At least put it in a window or something, on the seal, or something where it's like hidden. I don't understand why you put it just right there, but whatever. So back at the Taylor's home, Fatima she called Karen at the office, and she needed to sign the paperwork for Miss Marie to give more money to the salon, for the Roots to Riches salon and all that good stuff. And Karen said, yep, I'm going to come by. And she agreed to come to the Taylor's home. First, Karen was like, I get to come over there? Like, yeah. I mean, she's inviting you. It's totally different from just you popping up. So anyways, Fatima gets home and talks with Zach, because he's still not at ease in regards to who stabbed Gary. And they're like, it was too easy for Jordan be the one to go down for this, and I think that the police just wanted to hurry up and stick a name to a person and all that good stuff. So they finally were thinking outside of the box. We're thinking about everyone that's been around Gary recently or currently. But what about people that he screwed over in the past? And Fatima put it together and finally thought of who we all think of. Jasmine, which I thought from the beginning it was Jasmine. So Fatima tries to call Andy, but Andy's not answering, but it still shows that Andy is in the parking lot. And Fatima's like, she was supposed to be gone a long time ago. So Zach is going to go to the parking lot to see if Andy's there or something, just to see what's up. In the meanwhile, Karen comes over, they hide the board. Karen opens the door and comes in, which is very, very disrespectful, and I wish she got checked again for that, but we still got to lay some ground rules for Miss Karen, Care Bear. So anyways, Zach leaves, and then Karen signs the papers, and then she starts feeling some uncomfortable pain. And then all of a sudden, her water breaks. And Karen's like, your water breaks? On my kitchen floor? And then, of course, Karen looks a certain way. Then, of course, Fatima's dialing 911, and for some reason they're not answering, which is very weird. So then Garen's like, look, they're not answering. Call Zach. I need to get to your account. So are they about to have this baby or babies on the Taylor couch? Hopefully not. They can get to a hospital, hopefully. Now, what happened next is quite crazy. So Sabrina calls Danny and tells her about Calvin coming by, and then also Rich came by, and she just gave an update on what's going on in her life. And she decided that she wants to see other people, and he's upset. While she's telling Danny that, she's packing up things that Rich had over at his house, and she's smelling his clothes and all that good stuff. And then at this point, Danny's all happy about talking about her man, and didn't know that her and Tony would make it, because Sabrina was like, I'm surprised after what you guys just went through that you guys would be okay, you know? She said, well, after just speaking with her therapist, she's more taking control of what she wants to change in her life and not allowing Tony to do that, and somehow they work it out. Tony comes to the door, not his usual chipper self. She hangs up from Sabrina, and they talk, and the company tried to blame everything on Tony regarding Danny getting the settlement and all that. Tony got him to the point where he had them by the balls, but they pulled a fast move on him. And basically, they know that Tony is right, and they need to blame the dude for lying and all that good stuff, or trying to spread lies and stuff about what really was going on. And since they couldn't, they said, we're going to transfer you. And transferring him to Alaska. And she was like, so they got NIGGERs up there? Lord, that's 6 months out of the year, dark. So at this point, it's like, this is a good job, and this is a job that doesn't come around that often, especially for black guys or whatever. He could still see what he's going to do for a company. Maybe living long distance could help Danny and Tony. Only the reason I say that is because it could allow him not to be so entangled in her life, and she could take control more without him being there. Y'all could take trips here and there. I mean, you're a part of the airport. You could give her deals and things of that nature just to try it out and possibly get retransferred later on. Who knows? So Rich, Penelope, and Jordan are celebrating Jordan being free. They're getting very tipsy, and Jordan's really tipsy. So Penelope helps sees him out, and then she comes back into Rich's place, and they talk for a minute. Thank you for being there for us. And then we find out that they got history as childhood friends, and as far as his brother's friend and all that good stuff, pigtails and all that. Well, one thing led to another. They started flirting, and then Rich kissed Penelope. And then he was like, oh, I'm sorry. But then Penelope liked it and kissed him again. And then they were starting to have sex. But Sabrina comes into the juice bar with the clothes, and then she throws them down and lets them know that I saw you. And then she leaves out of there. But it's like, Sabrina, you broke it off. I don't get you, Sabrina, but whatever. So next thing that happened, we got the twist. So we finally figure out what is Hudson's deal. Hudson's full name is Oliver Hudson. Hudson comes by Gary's office, and of course he's like, I told you, what are you doing here? I fired you, da 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 da. And he's trying to refresh Gary's memory. They know each other from over 18 years ago, back in high school. They used to bully him. But in regards to what really bothered him, or that he's been wanting revenge for a long time, is that his friend Karen Potter. Remember Jordan last season found out all this information, or was it this season? I think it was last season. Found out all this information about Gary, about his girlfriend that came up missing and possibly unalived. That's what he's talking about. And he blames Gary, and Gary's like, well, look, you don't know all the situation and all that good stuff. Let me explain. Oliver don't want to know. Next thing you know, Jasmine brings in Andy. They're on the couch and she's ready to get her revenge. They thought that Jasmine was in jail, but she's been working with Oliver for a very long time. Jasmine was the one that, Gary, I knew it was her. I knew it was her. And she was the one that was in the hospital that did that was messing with his IVs, putting air in there and all that good stuff. Oliver was giving Gary coke with fentanyl, but he still wasn't dying. But now he's going to. So Jasmine thought she had the upper hand and she was going to get a revenge. And then Oliver all of a sudden pow Jasmine. It felt very... You ever seen the Scream movies, especially the more later ones, where one just didn't really trust another? Well, you go for the first one where Billy and the other dude, where he ended up unaliving him. So Zach comes into Gary's office and Oliver's ready to shoot. Gary gets up and starts struggling with the gun. Zach is running towards them, so we don't know who actually has gotten hit, because the gun goes off and then black. All right, so that was the end of this episode, or this season. I'm glad. Mr. Jamie Giddens, who is the reason why I even wanted to start rewatching the show, he's leaving. He does have a job with Beyond the Gate. That's the new black soap opera, or predominantly black soap opera, that's airing on CBS. I think, what is it, 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. Eastern time. Or if you got Paramount Plus, I do review it on my channel, so you can check out my reviews. I do them weekly, so that's how I'm doing it. But yeah, so he was a writer on Days of Our Lives for 5 years, and he's given up both jobs to join in there. Him and the showrunner Michelle Valjean is pretty close or whatever. So he's leaving. So we gotta see what season 9 is gonna bring. I'm hoping even more progress with the characters, and I still think it was a good season finale. But y'all let me know in the comments what y'all thought. I'm satisfied for where things are right now. Of course, I want more for season 9. But y'all can give me your predictions for season 9 and your hopes, because those could be two different things on this show. So anyways, thank you for being with me. Sorry for the episodes I did miss. At least we get a break. Season 9 will start in July 16th. So we get a little break, rest up, and let's get ready for the next season. Congratulations, Mr. Giddens, and like this video, share, and subscribe and leave them comments. Until the next one, peace.